All right. um, this, I mean, this, it just occurred to me uh, when watching this video um, that, I might should make a brief, as brief as I can be, uh, uh, video. Oh, quadruple sevens. Um, anyway, to make just a very brief video about Kathleen Kennedy. Um, you know, I mentioned before, Mike Zero, uh, as they say, hit or miss on his rumors and shit. Um, but I maintain that he's very entertaining. So, you know, uh, by all means, sub to Mike Zero. It's fun. It's fun to listen to, whether it's real or not. It's fun. Anyway, Kathleen Kennedy wants to replace Hayden Christensen, uh, Darth Vader recast. Anyway, it occurred to me that I should maybe should make a brief video just pointing out why it is that Kathleen Kennedy seems to hate Star Wars characters, or at least a lot of them. Um, I mean, look, we don't know for sure. I'm going to be, to be perfectly fair, we don't actually know about what's in this woman's heart. You don't know that about any other person for sure, but you know, like we don't even know a whole. We know some stuff from her public statements, but we don't know a whole lot about what she's really thinking because she doesn't share that. It's like so for all of us on the outside looking in, we don't know for sure. What Kathleen Kennedy's thinking or what her motivations are. But she did do that whole thing like about in the thumbnail. You know, she's showing off her Star Wars shirt, but she's also in that other picture uh, that lots of people look at that has her showing off, with four other women or three other women or whatever, showing off the Force is female, and it's like, so I think we can kind of, guess at some of her feelings. Um, I think it's probable that whether it was for real or not, it get I mean, Hollywood is a cesspool, so it's probable that she was mistreated in some degree. Don't know by who or how much, and even if she wasn't, it's easy to believe that she would feel like she was. Um, so either way, it's like she probably has a bit of an attitude about such about her personal experiences. Um, she took control of Lucasfilm of the Star Wars franchise, and what direction did she apparently steer it in with the sequel trilogy? We've presumably you've seen those movies, you know what that's like, and you know that the main character of the sequels is Rey, and Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine, whatever you want to call her. Um, but and despite the fact that the SJWs keep on complaining that she's not a Mary Sue, they keep on demonstrating that they're saying that because they have decided to redefine what Mary Sue is. It's like, no, 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 she is a Mary Sue. She's absolutely Mary Sue. And one of the tropes, not the only trope, but and certainly it can be a Mary Sue without this being part of it. But often a Mary Sue is an author self-insert. Again, male version is Gary Stu. Not as frequent to see that one, but it does happen. I've read one or two fanfics, and yeah, they were not that great because it was a Gary Stu, and it's like, oh, why are you doing this? Why that? Why? Anyway, um, but uh, so Rey is the main character in the sequels, and she's a Mary Sue. And the question, I guess, becomes, is she an author sort of self-insert? Well, maybe she's not an author per se self-insert. Maybe she is an executive self-insert. Maybe Rey is Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know. But I think I've heard people mention that maybe that's the case. Um, I think Kathleen Kennedy, probably, um, whatever her strengths might be, I don't think that she's particularly good at storytelling from or anything. So I expect that, like so many other SJWs, she doesn't understand what makes a good character. She doesn't understand what makes a good story, and so she has that. Um, she has that worldview, whatever whatever you want to call it. She has that blind spot for not knowing good character. Anyway, so but she wants, I think, her Star Wars, the sequel Star is like she was the one in charge of that. She wants that to be the face of Star Wars. I suspect. And again, like I said, don't know for sure, but it occurred to me that if that's the case, then that certainly explains why it is that she seems to hate all of the other Star Wars characters. I mean, she wants Rey to be, you know, the face of Star Wars. She wants, and maybe there's another thing that's recently been suggested is the idea that Brie Larson is going to be um, I think that was Mike Zero again who suggested that. Don't again have no idea about that. That Brie Larson's going to be playing in some new Star Wars show, and she's going to be a female Jedi from the from thousands of years of the past or something that's more powerful than any character we've ever seen before or whatever. And again, sounds like a recipe for a Mary Sue. Um, you know, overpowered, bestest ever. Possibly attempted author self-insert, whatever. Anyway, but the point, but my point here is, Kathleen Kennedy seems, based on what we know, she seems to have hostility towards a number of Star Wars characters. She has hostility towards um, Cara Dune and and Gina Carano, the actress who played her. Why? Because Gina Carano is unlike Kathleen Kennedy. Frankly, it's Kathleen Kennedy's hated by the fans. You know, rightly or wrongly, and I tend to think rightly, she's hated by the fans. Gina Carano is loved by the fans. Everybody loves her. So, and she's also a lot of other things that Kathleen Kennedy is not. Let's just put it that way. Um, and so Kathleen Kennedy's not happy with that, with the actress, but she's also not, probably not happy with the character because here's a character who, although not being the bestest ever or whatever, she's nevertheless a character that people actually like because her character is one that didn't just show up and we're told she's perfect and she can kick anybody's ass or whatever. It's like we were shown that she's not perfect, she's not all powerful, she's it's like, but she earned respect. She's actually legitimately strong in her own right, and not just physically, but anyway, but and so she's not happy with that. She doesn't want Gina or her character overshadowing Kathy herself or uh, her uh, the face of her version of Star Wars, Rey, and the same thing obviously would apply with her supposedly. Again, we don't know for sure, but supposedly Kathy didn't know that Luke was returning at the end of Mandalorian season 2, and it would make sense if she was really super pissed because again, this is a character and to a certain extent an actor, although I don't really particularly like Mark Hamill because he's he's a leftist piece of shit like virtually everybody else in Hollywood. So I don't like the actor, but I like the character, I always have. Um, but everybody loves Luke Skywalker, and again, Kathleen does not want that. She does not, she doesn't want anything overshadowing Rey or whatever. So no, bringing back Luke, what the fuck, she's against that. And now, supposedly, thinking about having Hayden Christensen reprise his role as Darth Vader in the, maybe upcoming Kenobi series. Don't know if any of that's true, but maybe it is. And if it is, and it's also true that she's not happy about it. Well, that would be why. Because again, she doesn't like Anakin, doesn't like I mean, even though Hayden Christensen's uh he was not, well, he wasn't universally hated as Anakin, but he was certainly, many people were not thrilled with his performance, although personally I think that had more to do with I think that had more to do with what he had to work with and who was, whose direction he was working under. It's like I blame George Lucas and company for the writing and the directing and whatnot of the prequels, and just the general direction of them. It wasn't very good, in my opinion. Like I said, a lot of people try to be like, oh, the prequels were great. It's like, no, they weren't. It's like, they were not. They were okay, and they were certainly immensely better than the sequels, but they're nothing like the original trilogy. Uh, you know, if you want to pretend that they were, that's up to you. But just stating fact here, original trilogy is way, way better than the prequels, and almost infinitely better than the sequels. Um, but anyway, like I said, so I think that would explain why she hates all these other, and she hate, and I, you know, um, almost forgot to mention Ahsoka, and Ahsoka is, it's like, I mean, again, already been over Gina Carano and her character, but Ahsoka is the same way. It's like, you know, it's not a character that Kathleen Kennedy created, and or people under her direction created. You know, it's Dave Filoni created her, and whatever else you can say about him, he did at least do the right and proper thing by his character, which was have her developed over time. And that's the thing about SJWs. They they want all the shortcuts. They want, it's like, I'm an oppressed minority, give me a job. They don't want to earn their place. They want to be given it to make up for, their, oppression status or whatever, for their victimhood. And the same thing apparently applies when it comes to them writing or whatever. They do the same thing with their characters. They want their characters to just be the bestest ever to start with. They want them to be perfect to start with, and it's like, that's not proper character development, though. The character is supposed to start out with various problems and work through them, and become better over time. And you saw that with Ahsoka. She was not perfect by any means to start with, and she developed over the course of years, and she was properly developed and earned her place. Rey did not do that. You didn't see that, arc with her. She had no arc, essentially. And and if the whole Brie Larson rumor thing is true, that'll probably be the same thing. It'll probably be the same fucking thing. It will be, oh, she's just automatically, when we start off, she's perfect. She doesn't need to earn anything. She's just perfect to start with. And it's like, that's not how people or characters work. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. It's like, that's just, that's just how it is. Anyway, but I just thought I'd mention that. I mean, probably a lot of people already knew that, but I thought I'd point that out. In a way, perhaps we should feel sorry for her. I mean, not like, oh, well, it's okay that you do these things, not excuse her actions. Sorry for her, but sorry for her that she can't. Apparently, she's a sort of, envious person that just cannot be happy for other people to succeed. You know, has to try to tear everything else down if it's not somehow hers. But that, I mean, and again, to be fair, we don't really know that. We don't know for certain what her motivations are, or even what all of her actions that she's taking are. We don't know. We're not inside her head, but it sure looks that way. It sure looks like that's what's going on from the outside. So, anyway, uh, uh I have no clue how this is going to play out. I mean, um, there are people who are hopeful that she will be gotten rid of, but I don't count on it. I don't count on it at all. You know, it's like there. I mean, there are just in the current day and age, it seems like far too often, it's always the wrong thing, the wrong decision that's taken. You know, it's like it's always the wrong path. You know, Disney is always going to fuck something up worse instead of make it better. You know, anytime they take one step forward, they take, you know, a half dozen steps back immediately afterwards. You know, it's just like with the whole you know, they brought back Luke and everybody was thrilled, and you know, Gary from Nerdrotic actually said something to the effect that like for the next 3 or 4 years they could do anything they wanted to and get away with it or something like that. I don't think he really meant that. I think he was not speaking properly. I think he meant to say that as long as they don't do something really awful, they can fuck around with mediocre shit and get away with it. But he didn't phrase it that way. But I think that's what he meant, because certainly he was wrong, because how the fuck long did it last? I mean, how long did it actually last, you know, before, oh look, they have fired Gina Carano and pissed everybody off. You know, it's like, you know, it didn't last long at all, did it? You know, it's like, no, they fucked up immediately, and totally, you know, got rid of all of the positive feelings and momentum and whatnot that they had built up. It's like they'd done something good, and it's like, yay, and then they do something terrible, and it's like, fuck. You know, it's just, there's no, you know, they cannot stop themselves from pulling defeat from the jaws of victory. Okay, well, anyway, until the next one.